once upon a time I had a lovely vegetable garden here, and then I planted this plant, which is called a Lady Banks rose. And if you ever see one and say, maybe I should buy it, don't. Run out of the store right then and there. Do not buy a Lady Banks rose. They're beautiful, but they only bloom one time a year, yellow, tiny, like your fingernail. They'll be covered in it, but then they bloom one time, and the rest of the year you've got this big, I'm going to turn my head now, it drives Crystal crazy, big honking mess. As you can see, I have to like sawzall it and chainsaw it and hacksaw it, and I wish I had never planted it, but I did. This is the actual entrance to the vegetable garden, and it has a lot of really pretty plants in it, but over the winter I just tend to let stuff go away. I work in the house and I don't spend as much time in the garden as I should. So I sprayed this right here, the non-food area, the pathway, with Roundup yesterday. So in a few days it'll die away, and then I'll buy some more decomposed granite and just put a layer on top, because it just, I don't know where it goes where stuff goes. And then some more of these salvias I'm going to dig out, but the rest of this I'll just sort of clean up. And although you can't really tell it, I have been working on it. It was way worse. Come on in. This is Bailey, Jake, and Pete. Bailey's the neighbor dog. We're babysitting her. So here's some more salvias. I gotta dig all those up. And these are the two flower beds that two beds that I'm gonna grow the vegetables in this year. I will not round up those because we don't want to do that. We will hand dig this out, add some more compost, and get those planted. To me, you really need to get tomatoes in the ground by about the middle of March. It's possible you may have to cover them up, or one year I even had to dig them all up, put them in pots, and take them in the house. But it's better than leaving them out here, because where we live out here in Hazlet, it can go chilly, and even putting like blankets over them and stuff, I lost a couple of years, so I'm skittish. But hold on, I have a fire ant on my foot. Average last frost is a good week from now. So, but we're going to take a chance, because the forecast for the next coming week doesn't show a low below 50. So this is a mess. I ain't gonna lie to you. We're probably gonna take the lawnmower and just mow it down and pray for, better days. Back in the day, I would have rounded it all up, but now there's evil stories about Roundup, so I'm a lot more leery of it than I used to be. I used to put it on salad. So how many years, probably 5 years ago or so, I decided that along the north side, which is where you're supposed to plant them, I would do an asparagus bed. What a good idea that was, because I started out really good and then I just quit. I really prefer to grow flowers than vegetables and fruit, because I just like the growing, not so much the having, if that makes any sense. So if you look down here, can you focus right down there? That's kind of cool. See right here, the little cute asparagus is coming up from the ground. Here's a big one. Ooh, he'll get you. I told Crystal maybe I'll pick some tonight and eat them, because you can see in the distance, there's, I think 3 of the 5 made it. I don't know, there's one over there too. So anyhow, just another one of my silly things. I just like to see if I can grow stuff. Oh, way to go, Jake. Go get it. Oh, look at them.
Oh, it's so good to see them.
I dig a bee.
You've got
As long
lots.
as you and I are alive, there will be bees. And my sister.
We sincerely really should think about the honeybee thing again.
It's grass mowing season, not grass, but actually weed mowing season. So we've mowed 2 or 3 times now. And the other day, Doug came back around here and he's like, hey, you need to come out here and look. And this is where I had all the iris I was dividing, if you remember last fall. Well, I just stopped doing it. I had so many, nobody wanted any more. I gave away all I could. I did all I could. As you can see, iris are easy to grow because they grew themselves. Mama bear, Papa bear, baby bear, boom. So Crystal and I went to Callaway's today, who should really give us a bird dog fee, because between the Home Depot, Callaway's, whatever the name of that place is over in Keller and everywhere else. I mean, we spend so much money on plants, it's not even funny. But anyhow, we picked up a few things today. Some euphorbia, which is gonna go with something, I don't know what. Something fabulous. Crystal's gonna tell us about euphorbia.
I don't really. It gets big and mounding.
She bought some
Little
on a
tiny white flower.
She just bought some on a whim last year, and she had it in a pot with, what else did you have in it? Do you remember?
A flamethrower coleus, which is also down here. Some sun patiens. Yeah, they looked really good together. Hold up. It was pretty. It's really wispy and white. Got fairly big. I mean, this is a different variety.
It did real well.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
she had a hard time finding it. She found it at a little bitty nursery over kind of by her house. That's really cool, called Also Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah. And anyhow, so I bought the sedum, which is a sedum with a name, which I'm going to tell you right
be
now.
lemon.
Lemon ball sedum. And I'm going to put it in a blue pot I have over there. Just, I think all by itself, because it's so hangy and kind of cool. And I have sedum in another pot over there. It comes back every year, and it's easy. And really, that's it. Oh, I bought a fern, too, to put in a pot of houseplant. This is for the porch. I saw it in the window and had to have it. I think it's a fiddleback, but I don't really know. It's a assorted fern. Very rare. And I bought this dianthus because, I mean, how pretty. And it'll be out in the full sun in a pot. Maybe with that euphorbia. Was it in the sun, the euphorbia?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Maybe with that and some of that coleus or something. Not sure yet. We kind of buy stuff and then figure out where it's going to go after we bought it. Sometimes you buy something specific, but I didn't make any major purchases today, like huge ones. Crystal did, but it's not here. It's at home, or we could show you her $1 billion hanging basket that's gorgeous. It's almost tomato time planting here, and I have two personal favorites. They've just always done well for me. I plant more sometimes. This year I'm only going to do 4. This particular is one of my favorites, and they're kind of hard to find here. Early Girl, the name says it all. You can have a tomato in about 80 days with this sucker, and they're a tomato about yay big. Tomatoes in Texas that are big, if it says big beefsteak or Mr. Big Ass Tomato or any of that, they don't do well here. Medium tomatoes do well here. So Early Girl is my #1 favorite, and I bought 2 of them, and the other one is Celebrity. I'm trying to remember now. Let's see. Oh, wouldn't it be jolly good if it said which was determinate and indeterminate, but they don't. A determinate tomato, and I do believe a Celebrity. From memory, I believe this is determinate and Early Girl is indeterminate. But don't quote me on that, because I could be wrong. There are dogs down here that think they're getting snacks somehow. A determinate tomato, they all just kind of come red at one time. Bam, you pick them, you're done with your crop. An indeterminate, here's a red one here, 3 days later, here's a red one tomorrow, there's a red one, so indeterminate. I would think if you were a grower of tomatoes, you would want determinate. You could just pick them all at one time and move to the next one. Whereas if you're, your average person, you probably like indeterminate, because you could get 1 or 2 a day. With 4 tomato plants, if they do well this year, knock on wood, Crystal and I are going to go get compost, because can't seem to get any in the mail. With new compost and fluffing the beds up, we should have a good year this year, and 4 plants should be enough to keep me plenty of tomatoes. A lot of my garden needs a lot of work, and I only feel like doing a couple beds, so I'm just being lazy. I'm gonna plant some onions too, but I'm really late on that, by the way, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I have them. So that's really about it for today. It is 85 degrees out, y'all. I mean, we've got the air conditioner on in the house. I went from heat to air. Happens every year. We're going to be doing a series of videos on planting the vegetables and how the vegetable gardening is going. And then Crystal is redoing some flower beds over to her house. So we'll be doing a bunch of videos on that too. So until then, wear your sunscreen, wash your hands, for the love of God. Don't buy a bunch of toilet paper because it's so stupid. Just don't. And have a swell day.